From the dashboard, there are two ways that you can start to add a project. And if your screen doesn't look like mine right now, don't worry about it. As you add more items to it, it's going to look like that. All right, so you want to go over, there are two ways. The first way for you to add a project is you can click on this projects on this section right here, or you can click on add project. So when you click on add project, it brings you to the screen where you can put in the title of your project. And once you're done, you can put in the details of your project here. Now, it's good to be as descriptive as possible when you add in details, so that way everyone in the team understands what the project entails and what's required for it. And you can also utilize some of the stuff here. There's different tools that you can use here. You can add an image, add a break. And then let's scroll down to the bottom. So where it says use status, you want to make sure this is set to publish, and the category right now is set to root. Now, if you want to create a category for this, let's go back over to the back end here, and we're going to go over projects, and where it says category, we're going to create a new category. So we're just going to call this one projects. And you can go through the options and add images like that, but I'm not going to do that. So once I've created projects, I can just click on save and close. So now I'm going to go back to the front end of the site. But in order for me to see the new category that I created, I first have to refresh this page. So I'm just going to copy everything here, and I'm just going to refresh, and then just paste. So now when you click on this drop down menu, you see the project. So I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to retype the title again. Okay, so once that's done, now another option or settings you have here, you have the start date. So I'll put the start date, and then you have the deadline. How long should this project be? How long is it before you have to complete it? So I'm just going to put in there that date. And let's go over to the labels. Labels allow you to add, just labels so that you know what different item is just by looking at it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to type in the label for each one. And as you're going to see when we submit this project, you can come back and change the titles for this. I just want to give you a visual of what it's going to look like. So right now you can choose the different types of buttons here. So we left it at default. And and you can have multiple labels too. So we're gonna add this as the milestone label. X this one. All right, so milestone, you can choose success, and you notice it shows you right on this corner right here. And then let's add the task label, and we're gonna change this to warning at the topic. Change this one to important, and directory. And change this one to info, and come over to note, inverse, and for file, we're going to change this to success. Now you don't necessarily have to add all of these. I'm just adding this so you get a visual of what it looks like on the front end. Okay, so that's been added. And now we're going to add, let me change this. Let's go over to the details. You want to put in the website name that you're working on, and you want to put in the email. You can put in the client's email, and you can put in the phone number. And if you have a file that you want to add, then you can click here to attach that file on this particular project. All right, so now we'll go back over here where you can choose the colors for the project color, milestone, task, so that people associate that every time that they see red or blue or whatever color you associate, they know that's the project color. So I'm just going to choose just random colors here, and you can do the same too, just so you can get a good visual. And one thing that I do a lot is Sometimes I'll just choose different settings so that it gives you a visual of what it looks like on the front end of the site. Okay, so after it's chosen now, so we're going to choose the currency code, USD. You can put based on your currency. And then for the decimal, put in a dot. Now, once again, this is based on where you live. Some countries use dots, others use commas, and you can always change that. And then currency position, you want to put it before. I know that other countries, they put their currencies in the back, but in the States, we put it before the number. So you go over to permission, and this is where you can choose to add the different permissions here. So I'm just going to set this one as registered. So when I set this as registered, let me remove this here, and I'm going to add this group. So what that means is that everyone that have an account that I create an account for under registered is going to be able to see this. So that means that the clients are going to be able to see this part of it. They can see the project, or if you want to create a separate access for them, which we're going to do later on, you can do that as well. But for now, let's just leave this at registered. So you want to click. You have several options here. You can click on just save or save and new, or save and add a milestone, task list, or task. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to click on save, and you get this message, item successfully submitted. So now let's take a look at our screen, what we have here. So you have, this is the one that we just created, and it's just showing this number 2 because it's a replica of this one here. But what this is showing you right now is showing you that you have the start date 4 hours ago or 4 hours from now. And then you have the deadline. It's in 33 days. It lets you know exactly when the deadline is. And this was created by the super user. Remember that you can associate or connect a project with a specific user on your team. So if you're going solo like I'm doing right now, then you don't have to worry about that. But if you have different people on your team, I'm going to show you later on how you can associate or connect those people to a particular project. So you can edit, you can comment, you can add a milestone, you can create lists, you can create tasks, you can add attachments, or you can also disable the email notification for this. So that's been disabled. Now it's enabled. So that's how you create a project. And when creating a project, once again, you want to be as detailed as possible, as specific as possible. So when people are reading those projects, then they know what it's about. So let's click on this project that we just created. So now people come on here, they're able to look and say, okay, wow, this project started 4 hours ago, and now the deadline is in 33 days. They can also click here to visit the website that you're working on, and they can see the email here for the particular client. And when you scroll down to the bottom here, everyone that's working on this can come here and leave a comment, including the client, since they're going to have access to that. And then you can put in your tracker here and everything, which we're going to take a look at that later on. So you just successfully created your first project. Everyone is able to see that. You can click on the tab and it gives you details. Drop down the toggles like that. All right, so next, let's move on to the milestone.